Hello, and this is Big Bang Bot, and it's another one of my reviews. First one of 2015. Now, as you may all know, I love myself some Bodio Goms. I love them so much. I mean, look how many games I've brought down with me up with me into this room. I mean, look. I'm trying to get every single one of these in my hand. Look, just look. You probably can't see all of them, I don't care. Look at all 9 of these games. You can't see all of them, I'm sorry, but whatever. Anyway, guess what, guys? This may come to a shock for you, even if you read the title, because I won't be reviewing a video game this time. Beep off, Diddy Kong. Instead, I'll be reviewing. No, I won't be reviewing my bed, but if you want a review, the bed is flawed. It gets a D. The end. Instead, I'll be reviewing this thing. An illustrated history of 101 video games. Yeah, I'm reviewing a book about video games. Don't judge me. And it's even by a guy called Simon Parkin. It even says so on the front cover. As the title suggests, this book has an illustrated history of 151 video games. And those video games are from computer space all the way down to Fez. Oh wait, there's Fez. Nice going, me. Anyway, this book was released sometime in 2012, and its selling points include these. I'm not even going to read them because I'm cruel, but hopefully you can read these. And oh, did you enjoy reading them? Are you going to pause the video so that you can read them? Yes, no? Ooh, maybe? Ah, no, you might have, I don't know. I'm just going to carry on now. Anyway, once you open the book, you get quite a few illustrations at the front, and then once you start turning the page over, you get an introduction, which is probably an introduction to video games in general, but I know. Then you move on to the 1970s, which is where all of the stuff from the 1970s begins, and I'm not going to go through every game, so that's something I need to mention. And you've got a bit of artwork and stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to start off with the 1970s. Anyway, at the beginning of the book, you start off with the first game in it, Computer Space, a 1971 space simulation game. And all of these games are in chronological order, so keep that in mind. And you've got a bunch of screenshots of advertisements and whoa! That's interesting. Anyway, and on the next page, you get introduced to Pong, which, if you don't know, is a very, 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 very influential game, okay? And then you move on to your first video game console, the Magnavox Odyssey, and its history. Rest in peace, Ralph Bear. Rest in peace. And then we move on to Laser Clay Shooting System, Nintendo's first ever game, which they advertised with Duck Hunt. Okay, and some games get 2 whole pages advertising them, while others get half a page, but most get 1 singular page. So that's something. Anyway, skipping through the book, you can see other influential games such as Space Invaders and Galaxian, and then we move on to the 1980s. This is going to be more fun. Also on this page, we get an influential, well, it's not really influential, but a little message from Shigeru Miyamoto himself, and I'm going to read it for you. Here it goes! What if everything you see is more than what you see? What if something appears that shouldn't? You either dismiss it or you accept that there is much more to the world than you think. That was a terrible accent. I apologize. That was dreadful. Then on the next page, we move on to Pac-Man. Oh yeah, those evil terrorist ghosts. Pac-Man himself, Japanese Pac-Man, who died very quickly, and the creator of him in all of his glory, Satoru Iwatani. Yeah, it's Pac-Man, baby, with all of its information and all this stuff, and even a quote from Satoru Iwatani, and I'm not going to read it because, I mean, you can just read it yourself, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we know how Pac-Man works. Then we get more games such as Missile Command and Defender with this weird woman. She's weird, with more information and stuff like that. And then we move on to the almighty Donkey Kong. Oh yeah, it's Donkey Kong, alright. Yeah, and Jumpman, and there's so much stuff. Yeah, and there's also a knowledge bit which tells you some interesting facts, and I'll get more into them when I get to find some more interesting ones. So that's something. And there's also some more stuff, such as the ZX Spectrum, that British computer that every British person owned. Not really, but a lot of them did. The Americans didn't care about this computer. Yeah, and then there's the Americans' favorite computer at the time, the Commodore 64, and then we have Robotron 2084. The only reason I know about it is because of Classic Game Room, obviously. And then we get some more stuff, such as the almighty Vectrex, which is there. And then we see the one game that almost killed the industry, E.T. and all of this stuff and images. Let's just move on. And after your Dragon's Lair, your MSX, and your SG-1000, we come to the Famicom/Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, this is interesting. And as for the consoles, they will have original costs, and these don't make full sense. And I'll get into that a bit later. But anyway, every console has a must playlist with like 5 or 6 games, and the NES's recommendations, or the writer's recommendations for the NES, are Metroid, Super Mario Bros. 3, Final Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda, and Excitebike. I would have put Mega Man 3 on there myself, and maybe not Final Fantasy and Excitebike and Metroid and Legend of Zelda, but that's just my own opinion. But anyway, you go through more games, which I've never even heard of, and you've got Marble Madness, and then we have the almighty Super Mario Brothers. Ah, yeah! And we've got more useful information from Shigeru Miyamoto! Video games are bad for you? That's what they say about rock and roll. Hey guys, this is Botman Big, and this is a weird game about video games, and this book is horrible. It goes through so many dumb games which I don't give a beep about, except for E.T. E.T.'s like the best game ever, but still, what? Look at these NES must plays: Metroid, Mario Bros. 3, Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda, Excitebike. Where the beep is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? I'm sorry about that interruption, guys, but they have to happen, unfortunately. Anyway, here's the Master System in all of its 8-bit semi-glory, and then there's a must playlist. Wait, what? Dracula X? Ooh, and it turns out there was also a Master System port of Splatterhouse, but anyway, there are even more games to be seen in this beautiful book, such as Gauntlet, The Legend of Zelda. Shigeru Miyamoto did not give me a quote to read out. Oh, and you've got Dragon Quest, and Metal Gear, and R-Type, and the original Street Fighter, And now we have the PC Engine / TurboGrafx 16 with Dracula X again, but this Dracula X I'm actually used to. I wonder if they're both similar games, but anyway. You've got even more stuff, such as Final Fantasy, the Mega Drive, and I'm just gonna read these, recommended games. Seems decent enough. Yeah, that seems nice enough. I'm not gonna complain too much about this, but anyway, there's still more to the book to be seen, such as Ghouls and Ghosts with its advertisement with skeletons. Then we've got Tetris. Seriously, why is it considered one of the best video games of all time? You've got the Game Boy, and then you've got a couple more games from 1989, and then we move on to the 1990s. Oh yeah, things will still maintain interesting. Anyway, the 1990s begins off with the super expensive Neo Geo AES. Then we move on to some more games, such as the first Madden game and the first Fire Emblem game. And it turns out that for a first game in the series, it's actually got quite an elaborate title. Fire Emblem Angoku Yoto Hikari no Tsurugi. That's interesting. And you've got the Secret of Monkey Island, and you've got the Super Famicom / Super Nintendo Entertainment System with these recommended titles, and I'm not really going to complain way too much about them. And you've got Mario World. This is like the second time Mario's appeared in this. Third, technically. And you've also got Bomberman and Lemmings and a bunch of other games such as Street Fighter 2. Yeah, Street Fighter 2 with all of its nice artwork and characters. This is another 2-pager. I like this quite a bit. And all of its success right here. And then we move on to Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I'm going to move on to the knowledge bit, because the knowledge bit is actually really interesting, and I'm going to read it out for you. The T in Sonic the Hedgehog is capitalized. Al Nielsen, Sega's marketing manager, registered the as Sonic's middle name. I can't even tell you how awesome that is. Anyway, after A Link to the Past and a few other games, we reach Super Mario Kart. The first Mario Kart game, it's so overrated. This game is so overrated. The banana peel was once an oil can, but this game, it's so overrated. The best things about the game are the graphics and the music, but even they can't save the game from its dreadful controls and bland tracks. Then we move on to games such as Mortal Kombat and Final Fantasy V, the first FIFA game. Seriously, stop buying FIFA, guys. They're just the same game over and over again, to my knowledge. And you've got Gunstar Heroes, Myst, Ridge Racer, Jaguar, Virtual Fighter, more games, Super Metroid, more games, Sega Saturn with this game. This game looks interesting. Just stop right there. I want to look at this game. Okay, so apparently this game is called Sushi Pie Adventure, The Throbbing Nightmare. That game sounds weird. And then after that, we move on to the Sony PlayStation. Oh yeah, baby! The PS1! This console is so great! What must-plays are on here? Oh. That is not what my list looks like. At all. Surely I've only ever played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but seriously, this is what my list looks like. Here's my list. I hope you like it. I mean, you've got Crash 3, you've got Crash Team Racing, you've got Spyro 2, you've got Rayman, and last but not least, you've got Super Mario 60. Oh, wait. Wrong console. Also, speaking of the Suchi Pie thing, if that's the name of the main character, I wonder if she's a huge PewDiePie fan. And I wonder if she makes PewDiePie rip-off videos. That'll be interesting. Suchi Pie! Anyway, after a few more games, the Virtual Boy appears, and out of the 20-something games in the console, they had to choose 6 must-play titles to kind of make you want to play a Virtual Boy game, which might not have been the best thing ever, but anyway, there's Pokemon over here, and this franchise is just too big, especially back in the day, it was huge. And there's more games such as Resident Evil and Super Mario RPG. Seriously, Mario, again? You've been in here quite a few times. And then we've got Quake, and then the N64, where they chose these games. Mario 64 and Sin and Punishment are great games and all, but you could only find 4 N64 must-plays. Weird. But anyway, we move on to Super Mario 64. Man, that was almost twice in a row, Mario. You sneaky little, very, very sneaky little plumber. Then there are some more games such as Nights into Dreams and all of its beauty, and you've got Tomb Raider and Parappa the Rapper, and then we move on to Final Fantasy VII. Wait. Where the beep? Where the beep is Crash Bandicoot? They managed to fit in a whole bunch of games, even games I've never heard of. They managed to fit in games such as Super Monkey Ball and Lego Star Wars, but they didn't include Crash Bandicoot. The original Crash Bandicoot has a very long and interesting history. That would have been good in this book. This history's long. Very long. You could have easily fit that long history into the book. That would have been interesting. But no, you skipped Crash Bandicoot. Why would you do this to me, Simon Parking? Why? Oh yeah, Shigeru Miyamoto has a very long quote in the Super Mario 64 section. He says right here, Mr. Tezuka's wife is very quiet normally, but one day she exploded. Maddened by all the time he spent at work. In the game, there is now a character who shrinks when Mario looks at it, but when Mario turns away, grows large and menacing. This is the image Tezuka presents of his wife, and what we thought it would be great in the game. And that was the inspiration behind the booze. That must have been an interview for Mario 3. But anyway, back to more things in this book. And after some nice Parappa the Rapper art, nice Final Fantasy VII art, and a bunch of games I may or may not care for, a bunch of popular games, I'm just skipping through here, we get to Gran Turismo, and I might have accidentally ripped the book, sorry book, and you've got more Dreamcast. This is where we pause for a minute. The Dreamcast. Yeah, guys, my most recent console, the Dreamcast. Oh yeah, let's read this. I'm not going to read it because I just like looking at the artwork and reading some things. But anyway, this is where I'm going to mention that for most of these Japanese consoles, their original cost is presented in yen. However, if I go 10 billion pages back into the book, all the way to the SG-1000, the price is in dollars. And considering that console was only released in Japan, that is pretty weird. But anyway, here's the Dreamcast in all of its glory, and here is the must-plays. This might be interesting for me, considering I only got my Dreamcast. Let's see. Oh, the only game I own so far out that list is Jet Set Radio. I feel a bit sad, but I'm not going to play all of them, so ha ha! And after seeing a few more games such as Ocarina of Time, Shenmue, The Sims, and... oh, there's also Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi, can you please work properly for once? I can barely get you to work, but I can get you to work. You're glitchy. Please, properly work. Okay? Good. Come on, Crazy Taxi. You can do this. You can do this, Crazy Taxi. You can do this. You can do this. Come on, Crazy Taxi. Do it. That's the sound of the game. You stupid! Now we move on to the 2000s, but of course we start off in the 6th gen of gaming. The last year, or the last generation, when gaming was still gaming. Oh, why has gaming evolved so much? And look at Satoru Iwata's little quote here. Customers do not want online games. That was a terrible impression, but I just love his voice. It's just so good. And, oh boy, do I wish that was true, Satoru Iwata. Oh boy, I wish that was true. Anyway, the 2000s start off with the PS2. Technically, The Sims, but that was before the 2000s bit even began. Anyway, there's a bunch of games which I don't really want to read because I'm not really that interested in. Then we get to Super Monkey Ball. I'm interested this game even made it into this book. I'm just amazed. Not because it's a bad game. Monkey Ball's a great game and all, but I'm just amazed. There's also Advance Wars, but Monkey Ball! Monkey Ball! Baby Monkey Ball! I love Monkey Ball! I was obsessed with it when I was 12 years old. I would have legally married Super Monkey Ball when I was 12. This is just so good. And then on the next page we get the GameCube. Yay! With these games, but the mass plays. Cool! Now I just really want to talk about the artwork. I just love the artwork in this book. The artwork is one of this book's highlights. I just love looking at all the artwork. Whether it's screenshots from the games or screenshots of the consoles, and there's the original Xbox's, you know, must-plays. I just love looking at these artwork bits. They're just so nice to look at. I love them so much. The artwork is just one of the best bits about this book. I just love looking at it. It's just so appealing to my eyes. It's just so nice. I know. And there's WarioWare as well. Cool. And you've got some more stuff in here, and I'm just rushing through now. I just don't really want to look at it. I just want to look at the artwork. And then there's the DS over here. All of its must-plays. Back when the new Super Mario Bros. Series was actually new. Those were good times. And you've got some more games. You've got the PSP, and you've got Lego Star Wars, and yeah, I'm just rushing through this book at this point. I spent way too long before. I'm just rushing through now, in case that wasn't obvious. Now here's something I want to laugh at. Or, well, not laugh at, but here's something that's hilarious. Now, all of the Xbox 360's must-plays are not exclusives. However, if we turn all the way to the PS3, which is here, you can clearly see that all of these must-plays are exclusives. So, Xbox fanboys, you tell me the true reason why I think the Xbox 360 is better. It doesn't have much exclusives. I mean, all of these must-plays are on PS3, so why just have the Xbox 360 so much? I don't want to get angry with you. I don't want to start flame wars, but I'm just interested why you think it's a much superior system. Is it because of the controller? Is it because of the interface? Is it because you like the hardware more? Please tell me why you love the Xbox 360 more. I'm just interested. And then we've got the Wii and all, and man, so many people hate the Wii. Surely I only really ever play virtual console titles, but the Wii's not that awful. And then iOS is actually in this book, or iPhone to be exact. It turns out that Angry Birds is one of the must-plays. Wow. I may think the game's overrated and all, but seriously, that just proves how overrated it is. It's not that good, guys. I may be playing music in the background from Angry Birds, but that's because that's actually a pretty good song. That's why. Then there's some more games, such as Mario Galaxy. Mario, seriously, Mario, why are you in this book 10,000 times and you've got Call of Duty 4, the most evil franchise ever. You've got Street Fighter 4, you've got Braid, and you've got Far Cry 2, and you've got Little Big One, you've got these. Whoops. I better call a doctor for that. I'm so sorry, book. I didn't mean to. This is completely unintentional. I was not expecting to break you, but I broke you. So now I'm stroking you, and now I'm playing a song, and now I'm making a joke which I was never intending to make. This is so depressing. This game is Minecraft. Everyone loves Minecraft. Well, not everyone, but it's too popular. Why is this game so loved? Same with Angry Birds. Why? Just why? And over New Year, there was a lot of Uncharted 2 being played, but I'm just being sad over this little crack that I made in the book. I teared it. I feel so sad for myself. You've got a couple more games, then we get to the end of the book with Fez. And this was back when Phil Fish wasn't considered a huge jerk. And this is just so depressing. Overall, this book is quite interesting. I mean, it's got a whole bunch of games, it's got tons of nice artwork. The artwork is the selling point for me. I love the artwork. I also like looking at the games, and I like reading the interviews, and this is great and all, but I'm just so depressed because of that one small thing I did. Why did I have to do this to you, book? This is so depressing. Why? This is so sad. I regret my entire life. I hate myself. Why did I have to do this? Why? Why? Rosalina, can you tell me why? B. Mario, can you tell me why? Orchestra stuff from Mario Galaxy. Overall, I do like this book. It is a nice book to look through. It's got tons of nice artwork, but there are some things which I question, such as the lack of some games, such as Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Jak and Daxter, and Ratchet & Clank, and I'm not a huge fan of these must-plays. Some are better than others, but others just suck. And I'm just so depressed right now. Overall, if you're interested, go pick up this book. I give this book a B+. I really like this book. It's got some nice artwork, and I prefer it over my other video game books. But I'm just so depressed over this one small thing I did to the book. I'm so sorry to you, book. I didn't mean this. This is so depressing. I'm just so depressed. Overall, if you want this book, go and buy it. But this is just so depressing. And these guys are really biased. I mean, Mario appears in the book so many times, I didn't even bother counting. I mean, Mario's the main thing on the front cover, not to mention that he appears 2 more times in this book on the front cover, and Link appears 3 times in this front cover. Bowser appears once. Does Boo Mario count as another Mario? I guess it does. That's 4 Marios. And Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts appears multiple times too. This is just questionable, but I still recommend this book. I give it an 8 out of 10, or B+, considering this I'm using that rating system. But anyway, thanks for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and if you're interested in buying this book, go ahead. It's got beautiful artwork, a ton of text, it's very informative, and overall I think it's a good book. I didn't bother reading all of this history stuff, but whatever. Now, I'm just so sad that I made this tear. Anyway, this is Big Bang Bot signing out. Why did I have to do this? I don't know if it has anything to do with Castlevania Dracula X, but anyway, we've got some more games such as Gauntlet and The Legend of Zelda, which doesn't have an influential, emotional quote from Shigeru Miyamoto, and we get some more stuff from Dragon Quest and Metal Gear and R-Type. I wonder if that tastes delicious. Anyway, at the start of the book, you get an introduction to the entire book, which is interesting, and then once you turn that page over, the game, or the... I forgot this was a... No, I didn't. Yeah. Hopefully this is gonna have... Oh my...